Hello and welcome to Blytheway Business News, where today we are joined by Segun Lawson, Chief Executive of Thor Explorations. Thor Explorations is listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange on the venture part of that market, the TSXV. Segun, welcome, and please start by, can you give us a quick overview of Thor Explorations?
Thanks. Hi, Tim. Good to speak to you. Thor Explorations is a West African-focused gold explorer. As you mentioned, we're listed in Toronto on the TSXV. We have had a focus on early-stage gold opportunities in West Africa. We have 3 projects, one in Nigeria, one in Senegal, and one in Burkina Faso, where we have a joint venture with Barrick. Our flagship project is in Nigeria, which has taken the majority of our focus and our resources. And that's where we've recently taken the Segun Gold project from discovery through to preliminary feasibility, through to a bankable feasibility stage, and then now into construction.
That's clearly a major milestone. You've also recently had backing from the African Finance Corporation, who've come in as a shareholder. Can you tell us a bit more about that, and then what the plans look like for getting gold out of the ground and moving forwards towards actual gold production?
Yeah, this is easily by far our most significant milestone to date. We've spent, we acquired the project in August 2016, and in the time in between, we've been developing it. We were very happy with the bankable feasibility study results last year in February 2019, and we've spent, the last 12 months putting together a finance package for a project which is in a jurisdiction not really known for mining. We've had a very supportive partner, financing partner in the Africa Finance Corporation, who have come on board as a shareholder as well, to become a 20% shareholder or 19.5% shareholder. And alongside their equity, which was $11 million, the total financing package they've put together is $86 million. Now that $86 million includes $54 million of senior debt and $21 million of a stream as well. Now, what this has meant, it means we're fully funded through to gold production. And in addition to the other funds we've raised in the equity market and from our EPC contractor, we've raised some funds for exploration and for G&A. So to answer the second half of your question, that puts us in a very strong position for the next 12 months, which is really focused on building this project on time and getting into gold production in the first half of next year.
Just before we started the interview, I was looking at your website and some of your modeling, and you're looking at the measure which all the gold miners use of an all-in sustaining cost of $662 per ounce of gold, very low. But you're also modeling on a gold price of $1,300 an ounce, at which price you are looking at a very attractive venture. Gold is now $1,700 an ounce, which makes it even more attractive. Just talk us through some of those economics.
Yeah, I mean, today's gold price, the economics really stack up. We were very happy with the economics of $1,300 gold and the $70 oil price. And now with a lower oil price and a higher gold price, the economics are even more favorable. The payback is faster. As you say, our all-in sustaining cost is in the bottom quartile on the global cost curve, which means the revenues are high from the gold price, but also the profits are pretty high. We pay back our senior debt very quickly at today's gold prices. I guess the one niggling feeling right now is we would love to be producing now at these prices, and if they are sustained through to next year when we're producing, we will be very happy. Correct.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that Nigeria, probably better known as an oil and gas producing jurisdiction. You must be one of the first movers, if not the first mover, doing mining in Nigeria. Is that giving you other advantages?
Yeah, we're the first mover in terms of modern day techniques. Historically, Nigeria was a mining jurisdiction. It has produced gold in the past. It was the largest exporter of tin. And then obviously it found huge quantities of oil, which led to the mining sector becoming neglected. It's been a focus of the government in Nigeria and the Ministry of Mines to kickstart the economy and kickstart the mining sector, diversifying away from oil. We're the first mover in this new new age, should I say, a new initiative, where the first gold mine, large-scale commercial gold mine, that will be built hopefully in the next 12 months. And what has that meant to us? It's meant that the ministry has been extremely supportive, and the mining code is extremely enabling. There are tax incentives in place, there are customs and duty waivers. Unlike a lot of our West African counterparts, there aren't the free carry measures you have. There's full expatriation of your dividends. There's 100% ownership of your projects. So yeah, there's been a very strong initiative to help us as a first mover, and it's also seen as a flagship to Thor, but it's also seen as a flagship to the country as well.
Well, Blythe Way, we had some meetings with the Nigerian government down in Cape Town at the Indaba meeting earlier on this year. And the impression we got was that the Nigerian government and the ministers were all very, very keen on encouraging mining. And we're very proud to have Thor in the country as the flagship. So you mentioned production of gold, first half of next year. The economics stack up very, very well. Clearly, Blythe Business News is viewed on the internet around the world. You're listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, but for the viewers watching this, perhaps in the UK, can I ask you, as you get nearer to production, any plans for listing the company here in the UK?
Certainly. As a company, we think that makes a lot of sense. However, given the current global pandemic, which we can't ignore, and the uncertainty of the global markets, it's not a decision we can make at the moment. It's something we've constantly discussed and monitored. We think the market in the UK understands Africa, understands Nigeria, particularly when we look at the oil and gas side. We have a management team based in London as well. And now we're going into that stage where we're moving from a developer into a gold producer. We think, diversifying our shareholder base in London is a very positive thing to do. We can't make the decision just yet, so we haven't, but it's something we continue to consider and monitor very closely.
I'm sure we'll all watch that with lots of interest. So before we get to production in 2021, what are the milestones for the rest of this calendar year we should be looking out for?
Yeah, so we're constantly going to update the market on our construction progress. Our EPC contract is on a fixed price lump sum basis, so we've tried to mitigate the risk of cost overruns as much as possible and the timing overruns as well. So we're looking to update the market on the progress of the construction. However, in parallel, we think there's a significant amount of value to add in terms of our reserves. We have a global resource that's much bigger than our reserve. Part of our strategy is to convert some of those resources to reserves. We have some low-cost exploration going on around us as well, looking at satellite anomalies and trying to turn them into discoveries, because effectively any other ounces we find in our permit and in the permits around us are effectively super ounces. We have the plant already financed. We have access to putting them straight through the plant as well. So we're looking to continue to do that in parallel, update the market on drill results, resource update, and hopefully a reserve update as well through the course of the year before we pour first gold. But it's also worth noting that we have another very good project in Senegal, which kind of loses a lot of attention because of all the great work that's been happening at Segun and the progress that's being made there. That's a project which we think has a great amount of potential and blue sky exploration upside potential. And we continue to do a low-cost exploration program there. The target for this year in Senegal is to get that project to a maiden resource and have some tangible value there.
So it sounds like first gold production in 2021 is not the end of the story for Thor. It's actually just the beginning of a much longer story.
I hope so. I hope it's the beginning of a positive story. It's been a long road getting here, and it'd be nice to go from the development phase into the production phase, because that transforms the company completely. Rather than constantly raising dilutive equity, we're going into a situation where we're generating cash flow, and we have a much stronger platform to develop our assets. We have a much stronger platform to look at other projects. Capitalizing on one of your earlier questions about being a first mover, we have seen the enormous geological potential in Nigeria. it's geologically impossible that what we have is there in isolation. And a lot of our strategy is looking for the next one as well. So once we're in positive cash flow, we can deploy a lot more resources to that and getting the next project up and running.
Well, Segun, thank you very much for joining us today. That was Segun Lawson, Chief Executive of Thor Explorations. As we heard, Thor will be producing first gold in Nigeria in the first half of 2021, but lots of other exciting stuff to come, and we look forward to Segun joining us in the rest of 2020 and updating us on the projects as they progress. That's it from Blytheway Business News. Thank you very much.